Okay, what up? This is OJK Greezy coming at you for another episode of Internet Confessions. Okay, my apologies. I know I fell off the past couple days. I kept telling myself, yeah, I'm gonna record an episode, but I don't know, things kind of got ahead of me. And this is honestly, this project is like also a little challenge to myself because I don't want to say I'm not technologically savvy. I just don't enjoy technology. I don't like phones, don't like social media. I just got Instagram last year, 2025, I think. Or maybe, yeah, actually, I think I made a post at the beginning of 2024. So yeah, I just got Instagram in 2024. Low-key, I have Facebook, but I don't use it and I don't like it. I used to have Indeed, don't have it anymore. What else? I don't know. I never had Tumblr. Never had MySpace. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, technology is like something I have to force myself to engage with. And one thing too is like, yo, sometimes I get phone calls and it's like I don't even want to pick up the phone. Not that I don't want to talk to the person, but just speaking over a phone is not my preferred method of communication as a human being. Like from soul to soul, that's not how I get my message across. That's not how I get my point across most effectively. So, yeah, it's just not what I'm most comfortable with. It's not what I would choose first. And yeah, so today, something I want to talk about, something that came up the other day. So, I watched actually, no, I read an article and saw a couple posts about it too. So, I believe this happened on January 23rd, this January, so 2026. I believe it was on the 23rd, and there was a lawyer named Miss Sudine Riley who was working in a courthouse in Durham, which I believe is in the GTA Toronto region. And this is a, black woman with a headscarf, head covering on, and this woman was doing her work in one of the rooms in the courthouse. Apparently, a bunch of police officers came in. It didn't say how many, and of course, you can guess what happened next. They assaulted her. So apparently they questioned like why she was in the room. I guess they decided not to believe that she was a lawyer doing her job because I guess even in 2026 a black woman cannot be a lawyer and a black woman wearing a headscarf cannot be a lawyer. So yeah, they decided to slam her head down on the desk and proceed to assault her, and they dragged her down into the holding cells in the courthouse. So here's a woman who's a lawyer. She's certified. She did her job in court. She's in a room which you're allowed to be in, completing her paperwork, and all of a sudden, a bunch of police beast boy run up and assault her. So this story's going around. Obviously, she's going to try to sue them, but one thing I want to point out is a lot of people a lot of people seem to think there's no racism in Canada. I don't know who lied to y'all. I don't know who tried to tell you that, but it is completely false. Like, that is a completely false narrative. And I don't know who must have told you that, if it was the Queen of England or Justin Trudeau, but neither of them should be trusted because that is false. It's not true. There's hella racism in Canada. Canada was founded on racism. Look at what's been done to the Indigenous peoples by the laws that have been imposed by so-called Canada. So anyone who thinks is not racist either can't read or is just completely in denial, or I guess was raised in a KKK cult. So either one of those three things you must be if you either don't believe what I'm saying or you never heard of any of this before. But yeah, something I want to point out is I just saw another post about it. This is why it's coming up because I don't know if people know this. For example, so actually, I can't say which police it was that assaulted her. It could have been, actually, it was probably, I don't know, I'm guessing it was a local police force. Because, for example, here in Ottawa, we have the Ottawa Police Service, which their jurisdiction is in the city of Ottawa. We also have the Ontario Provincial Police, whose jurisdiction is in the province of Ontario. And then we have the RCMP, whose jurisdiction is the quote unquote nation of Canada. So there's a countrywide police, a province-wide police, and a like a local city-wide police in big cities anyways. The cities who are not big cities would just have maybe RCMP and like OPP, for example. But something I want to point out is like, for example, personally, I had an incident where I was minding my own business, walking in my neighborhood, and the police ran up on me and tried to hold me down and like question me and ask me where I lived and give my name and address. So I'm not comparing this to the incident the lawyer went through because I didn't have my head slammed down and I wasn't physically assaulted to the point that you could visibly see blood on my face. Like I saw pictures of this lawyer lady after and the shit is it's fucked up. Like it's not regular what they did to her. It's not normal for anyone to do that to anybody. So I really hope she gets justice. As a black woman who's a lawyer, I think she would be smart enough and know how to argue her case to get what she deserves out of it. But a lot of people don't really know some things about the law over here. It's not always as cut and dry as it seems. It's not always open and closed book. So, for example, when the thing that happened to me, I was like, okay, what do I do? Because obviously after I was upset and I felt like low key like I had PTSD and shit. But as a black person, when you say you have PTSD, nobody believes you, especially if you say you have PTSD from being like run upon by cops. Nobody believes you, or nobody cares, or a mixture of both. So I was trying to think like, what could I do to pursue a course of action? And this is before I really started pursuing my the degree that I'm currently working on. So I didn't know that. Well, I knew some things about the law, but I didn't know as many things about the law as I know now. So at the time, I was trying to get justice. I'm like, what could I do? So, like, I'm going to report them, I'm going to file a report. Question is, who do you file a report with? You know, who do you file a report with on the police? Who polices the police? And because once upon a time I started the Police Foundations program at Algonquin, I never finished it because of moral conflicts and like mental exhaustion with their belief system versus mine constantly clashing. It takes a lot out of you. I mean, we could all be freedom fighters, but like sometimes you need to recharge, and sometimes you realize at least the method you're going about it, maybe it's not worth it to try to fight it in that way. You need to come at it from a better angle or a different angle. So, yeah. And so the thing is, for example, when I file my complaint against the police, it's filed with the OIPRD, which is the Office of the Independent. This is what it stands for: Office of the Independent um, Police Review Director. And the thing about that they don't tell you is that um, okay, obviously the question you want to know, who polices the police? So in the Office of the Independent Police Review Director, OIPRD, this is who you would file a complaint with against the local police service. Take a guess who works on that board, who makes the decisions. What was that? What did you say? Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. It's police on that board. I mean, ex-police. They say retired police officers, but it's like, come on now. I'm sure they still work with a lot of those guys they're investigating. How would you say that an ex-police officer has no bias when it comes to holding current police officers accountable for essentially crimes they've committed? You know, obviously they're gonna find that they're innocent, and I mean innocent in their eyes, because the nature of policing, okay, obviously, hopefully, hopefully most people have heard of KRS-One, and you know that track where he's talking about officer, overseer, officer, 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 overseer, and kind of twist it into that, just giving you a little illusion of where policing comes from. The institution of policing stems from slave catching, and like gathering up slaves and like whipping them and trying to subject them to the law or the will of the state. So obviously you can't expect anyone who's in a police position to really be acting with any type of morality or recognition of humanity in itself, because even when I was in that program, probably one of the most striking things, and obviously I asked the professor about it because I'm always going to ask you about it, especially if I come across information that you're providing to me that is contradictory to other things that have been provided in this same um, on the same topic, you know? Like if it's not making sense, 1,000%, I'm always the one who's gonna ask you about it. And this is why I used to get in trouble all the time at school and everywhere else because I always ask questions. It is my right to know, or at the very least, it is my right to be curious and to wonder why. But yeah, people seem to take offense to that. But the thing that I want everybody to know, everybody in this city should know it, everybody in this province should know it, everybody in this country should know it, everybody on the planet should know it. I hope they don't think Canada is some like peaceful paradise where nothing goes wrong, nobody's racist, because at the end of the day, it's a system that operates very similar to the American system. There was a time where they were operating probably almost identically. So, all the policing and justice we see in America, the same thing exists here. So, when I was in the Police Foundations program in my criminal justice class, so they assign you readings, like pretty much every time you have the class, they assign you readings. But in the program, a lot of people didn't take that program seriously. A lot of people would like drink and party on the off time between classes because it was known as that program apparently was known as being a joke. I didn't know this before I went into it, but like halfway into it, it's like, oh, people say blah 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 about police foundation students, and I don't know. I wouldn't say it's all true, but at least 60% of them are jackasses. So yeah, I did my readings. I don't know if anybody in the class ever did, but I will admit, I did look forward to challenging professors because the reason I was in this program also was to challenge the whole system of policing. I had it in my head at, how old was I at the time? Yeah, in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s. I had it in my head like, I'm gonna infiltrate the system and I'm gonna change it, but yeah, it's not my job, at least not in that way. I wasn't meant to be a cop. At the end of the day, I could just never put on that uniform or that badge and be held accountable for the actions of others who are also wearing that uniform or that badge. As a collective, it's like they don't make a good case for themselves. They're not straight up, they're not human. So I couldn't put that on, walk down the street, and then someone's holding me to answer for the crimes of another police officer. It's only a matter of time before I get shot in the back of the head, and I would probably deserve it. So, yeah, the thing that bothered me about that reading that I did, and I asked my professor about it, it was something called the Blue Code. In the book, it's like, oh, it talks about like how officers protect each other, blah, 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 the Blue Code. And I understood what it was saying in the book, but it was disturbing to me because I'm paraphrasing, but this is exactly what it means. It's saying the blue code is basically a code among police officers that basically says they don't reveal information to anyone who's not a police, or that they protect each other, like the the crux of it was that the blue code is, you know, it's like a quiet code. It's also called the blue wall of silence because it's basically saying that, for example, if I'm here and I have my colleague here who is doing some fucked up shit, say we go on a patrol together. My colleague sees a little kid running down the street, decides to target practice, but shoots a little kid in the back of the head. Me, under the blue code, me having seen that, I gotta shut my mouth, and I would not snitch him out. That's what the blue code says. You could choose to believe me or not believe me. Again, I am paraphrasing. Please look it up. Blue code, blue wall of silence. Don't ask Alexa about it. Don't ask Alexa what is the blue code. Don't ask Siri what is the blue wall of silence. Type that shit in, scroll, click, look at it, read news articles, read definitions, read everything you can about it because, I don't think that's something that should exist. How can you truly trust someone to protect you when within themselves they have a code that says that they will not make each other look bad? How could you trust that? And then when they're being governed by a body of their peers, they're not being held to any standard. So that's just something I personally find very disturbing. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know how that's legally. I don't know. I don't even understand how it's not illegal. But anyways, they write the laws, they write it to suit them. What else did I want to mention? Um, yeah, I mean, that was the most pressing thing on my mind, but a couple other things, I guess, over the past like 3 days that I was gonna mention. And I guess I owe like three poems or three freestyle readings because I missed like 3 days. But let's just see what I got on my list. Yeah, because I was writing down a couple things I want to talk about, but I guess I never really got around to it till now. Also, yeah, when it comes to the policing and the blue wall of silence, stuff like that, I found that in itself contradictory to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms because allegedly, if you have all these rights and freedoms, there shouldn't be allowed to be an overseeing body that keeps shit from you, especially in regard to your rights and freedoms. Like, they shouldn't be allowed to, they shouldn't be allowed to have a secret code that protects themselves. Like, that seems unconstitutional. But, yeah, what else? The other day, I don't remember what I was watching, like some silly show on YouTube. Maybe it was Steve Wilkos or something. But yeah, something kept coming up and it's like, um, okay, not that it kept coming up, but it's like sometimes you watch these shows or I don't even know if they have it on the hoarder shows too. Sometimes you hear people talking about like, oh, they'll be like, oh yeah, they had all these animals in their house, this and that, and they had all these dogs and all these cats and rabbits and gators and monkeys and stuff like that. This was actually like one of the families that had this, and then they had a little baby too, which was the whole issue because they're like, yo, you're not. You're not keeping your house clean. You're not cleaning your baby. You're not taking care of these animals. Animals could eat the baby. Everybody could start eating each other. But yeah, the parents didn't really seem to care. But yeah, the woman's like, yeah, because apparently in the police investigation, they're like, yo, there was dog shit all over the floor, and the baby was there, and the woman's like, who would have dogs in their house and doesn't come home at the end of the day and have shit everywhere? And she just said it like it was so casual. I was like, what? I mean, me personally, I'm very new to dog owning, okay? I'm going on what, week 9 as a dog owner, puppy owner, I guess, if you will. And I don't know. I mean, I hope dog people are not really out here living like that because that shit is sick to me, bro. I mean, I'm training these puppies to poo and pee in the right spots. They have a little puppy pad. Sometimes they miss and they're close to it. I do take them outside a lot, so they're pretty good. On average, I give them like a 70% score, so they're doing pretty good. Um, but I can't imagine like allowing my floor to fill up with piss and shit. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Who would choose to live like that? And imagine the smell. It's like, how do you even walk to the next room and make a coffee when there's a shit on the living room floor? Like, ew, no. Anyways, I don't know. I hope most people are not out here living like that. If they are, I don't know if they need prayers or exorcism, but whatever it is they need, I hope they find it, and I hope those people never find me. What else? Yeah, today I was listening to some speeches by Brother Malcolm X. I love to watch his speeches on YouTube or even just to listen to them on Spotify. There's a lot of them on Spotify, and yeah, sometimes those speeches they definitely bring me to a more peaceful place. Just hearing his voice, but also it is disturbing because obviously a lot, if not all of the social issues that he covers, gentlemen like Malcolm X, brothers like Malcolm X or James Baldwin, those are two in particular that I really like to listen to. All the social issues that they speak of from their time are pretty much still social issues now, which is very messed up. But in a way, it's also very humbling being like, they they relate to what I'm going through. They see what I'm going through, but it's disheartening because I'm sure they would have wished that by now those issues are no longer issues, but they are. And even though I'm not in America, like I get it. It's I see the reflection of it. Like I'm also living it. Canada is not perfect. And if there's any takeaway that you get from this, please understand like whoever tells you this country is not racist, they lie, they lie, they lie, they lie. But yeah, let me go look for my what's it called? Let me go look for my pieces of art or freestyles or whatever, and I'm gonna come back with some for ya because I oh okay, I'm back. I found three pieces of art. So I found one here. It doesn't have a title. Don't remember when I wrote it. Um, I don't know. And then this one. This is a pretty long one. It's not really. Well, yeah, it is a freestyle, but it's more like a poem because it was a lot longer and there's a lot of it that's unfinished. I mean, I had empty spaces where I wanted to add things, I wanted to research and add things that went with it, but I never did. And then this one, yeah, this one's from Monday, October 12th, 2020. Um, yeah, this is around when my grandma was diagnosed with cancer, and I think she was like on the brink of passing away. And I think this is either after me and my siblings went to visit her one day, and I was just like sitting outside, I think, yeah, I'm like thinking after, and this came to me. But yeah, I haven't went over it since that time, so I guess we'll see how good it is together. Okay, so here's the first one. Like I said, it doesn't have a title. It's just Monday, October 12th, 2020. So here you go. Smooth little queen, and I got the bands on. Don't rock designer, but I got my swag on. Dressed above me, simping money, drinks you never heard of yet. The way I sip that yag, you would have sworn I mixed some juice with it. Cruising through my city, make these Simpson flash a side eye. Crash my car like Cook McBabylon, dash one side eye. Government that got me quarantined with this conspiracy. I'll test my impatience with this motherfucking conspiracy. Can't tell me what to do, I'm not a fool, I don't belong to you. That's what stereotype, I'm not a puppet, don't belong to you. Miss Crandall, my old teacher, yo, that animal, she hated me. Asked her what I did, she had no reason why she hated me. Threw away my phone, so I'm alone, good luck finding me. I live in peace low key, but the pigs, them still be finding me. A gal used to not know herself, date a lot of simple guys. Bumbleclad simple minds tell our whole heap of simple lies. Sometimes the Empress locks too tight to make our head feel sore. Love to smoke and soak in the tub when all our scalp is sore. Drive without a license, I be speeding down the regular roads. Pull me over, where's my license? Tell the pigs me left it home. I be writing poems about the levels of my broken heart. I tell the trees I love them and I touch them and the heels I part. Bully on the soccer pitch, clowns snake me out of jealousy. Not even just the ops, I'm talking girls on my own freaking team. I wish people didn't fear and ask more questions thinking critically. I wish some valued each other over money and the simple things. Not a student, robber, worker, don't even hit the pole no more. Call me OJ Greaser, can't be Keith, not do them scams no more. Can't find me on the gram for what? I only got like four friends. Can't find me in the streets no more. I'm home chilling with my sibs. Bought a trash can called Raccoon Stopper. That bitch don't really stop shit. My neighbor feeds raccoons so they be chilling like they owning shit. The city really trash and everything is mediocre. I may just be the anarchy, them calling me the joker. My grandma's out here dying in the midst of this conspiracy. What's the government really doing in the midst of this conspiracy? I'm not a rapper, don't be looking. I'm not a rapper, don't be looking for no more tracks. My grandma's dying, so I'm busy. Ain't got time to play rap. Yeah, so that was me, October 12th, 2020. I didn't even read over it before I read it to you. So, yeah, if I skipped over some parts, part of me was kind of laughing. Because this is true. Like, this is some real shit I went through. I remember I pulled up to Canadian Tire. I was trying to find a trash can for outside, like a better one with a lid that locked. There was one called Raccoon Stopper. I asked them about it. Does it really stop raccoons? And if it doesn't stop them, can I bring it back for a refund? And I think the guy was laughing, but I think he said no. Um, yeah, when I'm talking about the conspiracy and stuff, it was during COVID times. What else? Yeah, the soccer thing was real when I was younger. I started playing soccer when I was really young, probably like 4 years old, and then I stopped for a while when my parents were going through stuff and like separating. There was a lot of drama in my fam at that time. And then I think I started playing again when I was, I don't know, around 9 or 10. But I had so much like pent up frustration and stuff that I was a finesser. Like I was amazing on the field at that time. But yeah, all the girls on my team hated me. I was like the only black girl. Everybody else was like white Italian. There was one mixed girl, but I don't know. She wasn't really black like I was black. But yeah, all those bitches hated me. Even though I was a great player, you know. I don't know. They just didn't like me because I didn't look like them or move like them. Um, yeah, and at the time, I think I did just get a retwist and my head was kind of sore and yeah, went into the tub. What else? Yeah, Miss Crandall, that was a real teacher I had. Yo, the longer you guys watch this, I'm eventually gonna bait myself out because people who really know me know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I really did have a teacher who despised me in the eighth grade, and to the point that I asked her to her face, like, what I did to her, and she wouldn't tell me. She told me I knew what I did when I didn't because I was a child and I never did anything to her. Um, yeah, but that's my little freestyle there from October. What else? I got one here. This one has no title. So this is my piece two for the day. Here we go. Getting groovy with the grass, huffing puffing on the backwoods. Stress of Ottawa had me rolling pack to pack. When blackface Trudeau banned the woods, I gave him slap to slap. Tell me why that coward got into the Black Lives Matter march. I wouldn't have let him in. Silver spoon boy, none of news boy, China rude boy. Justin blackface Trudeau, weak ya fuck. Social media, weak ya fuck. We can't look. Drop my phone, crack my phone, broke my phone. I have to keep a robot in place. Puffin' herb under trees, in keeping with the bees. Nature bring me to my knees in its beautiful simplicity. Smoking two doobies at once. Don't mistake and take me dunce. That's all I got. I think this one, I actually think I wrote this one when I came back from Cuba in 2024. When I was trying to get, actually 2025, yeah, last year. When I was trying to get surgery, I was in Cuba in April, May. Yeah, thinking I was gonna get surgery. It seemed like everything was lining up, but like last minute, not last minute, but eventually it's like they didn't have the equipment that was necessary, and I guess due to their political climate at the time, like I can't really blame them, you know, because if there's certain things they are having trouble getting for their own people, like I don't know, why would I be a priority to them, you know? So it just ended up that certain materials that were needed um couldn't be sourced or couldn't be sourced in a way that made it worth it for them. So yeah, they told me they couldn't do it and tried to refer me to Mexico. Um, and then yeah, this is my third freestyle here. So this one is like I said, it's kind of like an unfinished project because it started as a freestyle, but it's really like it's a lot. So I guess it's kind of a poem in a way. So in my mind, it doesn't really have a beat. Like there's no beat with it, and there's some empty spots too where I said I want to add stuff, especially this last page, like you see here. Wait, maybe like this. Like you see all those arrows at the side. That's like a line I wanted to put to, you know. But anyways, I'll give you what I got. Stop asking me what's wrong though. Go read about the Democratic Republic of the Congo. How dare the United States put a hit out on Patrice, the first elected Democratic? Yo, the brother stood for peace. He said we tired of all the lies, hypocrisy and yassabos, and us people suffered way too long for y'all to still be talking. Shut the fuck up and get the fuck out. You hypocrites don't stand for peace. What kind of beast came up from Belgium and was chopping hands and knees? Leopold II. Now I can't call that a king. Piece of shit Neanderthal. He ain't know a thing. You wonder who created zoos? The answer's right in front of you. You never would want to believe. Leo filled them up with human beings. Disguise his lies as efforts missionary. Gets even worse and wildly scary. Plummet down worse and deep, deep chillin'. Leo didn't even spare the children. You call it Arcade du Cinquantenaire. I call it Une mémoire de génocide de mes frères. It's a wonder. It's a wonder the cars that drive on through aren't doused in a river of blood or two. Most things built in Europe and some in America are tainted by atrocities and built on that scary stuff. Stolen African expressions in European museums. And then, yeah, I have a blank where I was going to add something. Columbite Tanta Tantalize. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. I have no idea what I was trying to say there. Those ones you cannot live without. Grand diamonds, Antwerp. Those gems ain't yours. Shut your mouth. Oh, okay, okay, okay. It must have been yeah, a reference to some like diamond companies, some blood diamond companies. So yeah, Columbite Tantalites? I don't know. Those ones you cannot live without. Grand Diamonds Antwerp. Those gems ain't yours. Shut your mouth. Yeah, it was the diamond companies in the Congo. These must be names of them. Leopold II, steal, kill, destroy. Those lies you used to build you up. The truth soon I got destroyed. Don't lie to us or condescend. What you are now, we built you up. Free labor force you got from us, so sinister like your Shikat. I never seen a meaner evil made your boy right heart of darkness. Revolutions fought it tooth and nail, the people didn't want this. How dare your quest for colonies continue mangling human beings? How dare you treat that rubber with more value than my brother? Burning records, hiding files, I know what you did. Don't you dare smile. 17 December 1909, funeral of a terrorist, celebrated as a king. Have you ever seen the world's biggest farce? I ask you again that question you rejected. How dare you intervene after people elected Patrice Lumumba to lead him to freedom? That king loved his people and wanted to lead him. That old government pawn and the US of A, the United Nations and Belgium are guilty of the same. The insatiable pit of a colonist maw will never be full, so you must cut it off. How dare you, sadistic, abhorrent, nefarious waste, be keeping 3 teeth off Lumumba's dead face? Leo ran the Congo as his private domain, and everyone saw and let him get away. How dare you put up a bust of that fuck in Laken, that heathen cut in half the Congo Free State's population? Leo disguised in humanitarian guise, and before their eyes committed the world's worst genocide. Brabo's fountain stands in Antwerp, holding a hand, reminds of perverse inspirations of monstrosities inflicted by Leo and his force publique on the African nation. A land so lush, she's worth so much. Europe's avarice doing the most. Belgium bleeds her dry at every coast. Belgium to me seems a complete anathema. To then contumacious ask for colonial tax. Oh, what is this world we're living in? No limit to this human sin. Leopold's lack of sanity still desecrates humanity. That pathological genocide air saw no limit to his human fare. At the table, bare his teeth, biting into Congolese meat, steal, kill, destroy. Belgium, come get your boy. Done wasting breath on that bastard. And then yeah, when I see Mickey Mouse, racist rat ass, I see he's Leopold. When colonists smoke hands and eat the flesh, man, it's all Leopold. When I see rape culture permeate society, I know it's Leopold. When the police laugh about murdering black people, I think Leopold. When I listen to drill music, man, I think about Merck and Leopold. On Christmas, when Dutch people put on blackface, I think Leopold. What I think when I think of what whites did to Emmett Till, man, I think Leopold. When I think of how the CIA killed Malcolm, I think Leopold. When I hear white coaches exploit black players, I think Leopold. When police claim black person fits description, I think Leopold. When I see pedophiles on Catch a Predator, you know that's Leopold. When I see that what? Okay. Okay, I don't know what the last line says. But yeah, this is a topic I'm very passionate about when it comes to colonial exploitation. When it comes to, yo, that's one thing that really boils my blood is blood diamonds. Who said that diamonds are a girl's best friend? Okay, please, who the dog said that? Please send me the person who said that so I can smite them because I would like to refute and argue their claim because it's not true. Nobody needs diamonds. Who decided that one diamond should be worth $10 million, $50 million, $2 billion, $100,000? Who is deciding this shit? Who decided that a diamond is a symbol of eternal love? And some people might say, oh, you're just a hater because you ain't got no diamonds. No, it's not even about that. If you really think about it, how could a symbol of eternal love be a rock that was gotten by, like killing 5 human beings? Like there's 5 bodies on that rock, yet it's a symbol of your love. Make it make sense. You can't make it make sense because it doesn't make sense, you know? There's no sense for it to make. So I just want to leave you with that. Think about that. And then not even just diamonds, but when it comes to any luxury branded item, you know, like these purses for tens of thousands of dollars or designer shoes or designer clothing. Let's start thinking critically about this shit, you know, because why would you be paying ten thousands of dollars for it when, say, for example, this designer clothing company that you love, say it's poisoning a river in a community full of, say, 50,000 people. So, say 50,000 people are poisoned because of, you know, this this clothing getting to your community so you can buy it for an overpriced amount. Yeah, these baby dogs are squealing down here. Yeah, they're fighting low key. But yeah, that's what I want to leave you with today. Just think about this stuff, you know. We need to start thinking critically because as youth, if we want, well, I mean, maybe I'm not a youth anymore. I'm a millennial, so this world is for the youths. Technically, I'm not a youth anymore. I'm an elder trying to guide them to the righteous ways when I'm in my righteous ways. So, yeah, I don't really have a quote of the day. I guess I gave you a lot of quotes from my very own self. Just so you know, everything on this channel is copyrighted, so don't even try me. Um, but yeah, that's about it. That's about all. Hopefully you enjoy my freestyles. Hopefully you believe that I'm not falling off. I'm holding myself accountable. Whenever I don't show up, I owe you a freestyle, which is the least I could do. And I mean, these are things that I wrote back in the day that I didn't really know what to do with. So also I thank you for giving me somewhere to put them. But yeah, we'll definitely see you tomorrow. Definitely. What else? It's pretty cold outside today. Man. Peace.